So everybody, and welcome to the channel and the flight briefing room. Haven't been here for a while, but I thought this was the only opportunity that I'm going to get to show you a new piece of kit I've got. And I say, those that have seen me flying in the dual side of things have known I'm using an integrated helmet, and today I've got a new helmet. So this video is not just about the unboxing. This is me talking from the future. I've got a lot more hours on the helmet, and if you stay tuned for later in the video, I will give you my thoughts after about 40 hours of using this new helmet. So stay tuned for that later in the video. Integrated helmet. It is the first production of the new 300 series that MICRO Avionics produce, so it's got active noise reduction, and I tried it out on a previous video where I was with Eddie down or up at MICRO Avionics now, because I'm down in London, and it was great. And I thought, can you put that headset in an integrated helmet? Because if I'm doing lots of flying tuition or long hours in the aircraft, having that active noise reduction will save my ears at the end of the day. And so I thought, yeah, can you? So I asked Eddie, can you put the UL300 series headset inside an integrated, but not just in any integrated. Those that can see, and I'll show you some B-roll as well, I've got the carbon fibre one. Yes, I really did treat myself to a nice new helmet. Let's just hope I don't drop it. But the main reason is it's also quite light, and I do like it. I'd seen it before when I'd been to the factory, and I thought, oh, can I justify the extra money for that? But having the UL300 in it and the carbon fibre was a big expense, but I thought it was going to be worthwhile in the long run. So I'm going to cover a few bits in this video. One is showing you all the aspects of this helmet. Now again, that's just going to be covering the basics of it, but I say I do like the style of this. There are some people that don't like the integrated helmets. I personally do like them. They reduce a lot of wind noise, especially for the over the microphone. If you've got the separates and they turn the head, airflow can get across it, and if you're in the other seat, you can hear all that noise as well. In the winter months it is actually quite cool, and so cool being able to close the visor down and keep all that wind out to keep your head warm. But equally so in the summer. I have had a black helmet before. I didn't notice the temperature difference too much. Tried to get the helmet out of the sun, but I say once you're flying, having any form of insulation around your head does actually help. The thing I do like about this helmet is the visor. The visor does actually go up to high enough. Now I have noticed a lot of people, and they let this sit out and they can't actually see. There is a useful tip where you can actually just pop it up on the lid and it sits out the way, so I don't know if the light can show that, and you've got no issues. And I say, gently moving the microphone away with your hand. Now my helmet gets used a lot. There's a lot of flight cycles, and when you're in the back seat you do have a lot of people that try and deafen you. And all what I try to demonstrate to them is, when you do actually have to shout clear prop, don't shout clear prop into the microphone, because I get deafened in the back seat. Just put your fingers over the microphone, and it saves you having to bend the microphone in and out all the time, which can cause wear and tear on your helmet. The seals on this are the standard seals. They are very robust. So I've had mine for 4 years. I don't think I've had them changed at all, and so they are very, very robust, and no issues there. On my other headsets I have actually got the thicker gel seals, a slightly thinner material on the outside, but they do cut the noise out a lot. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the settings because, again, I covered that in a previous video, and if you haven't seen that, I'll put it in a link in the description or up in the top corner so you can go and find that video as well. But having the 3 ANR, the active noise reduction settings of basically filtering everything, filtering the top or filtering the bottom of the frequencies, you can adjust that yourself, and you can do it in flight as well. You haven't got to take the whole headset apart to do that. It's a little switch just inside the ear cup, so you can find out which setting works best for you. It's got the standard MICRO AVIONICS connector on the end, and that is something that that most intercoms fit to now. But I do know that whatever you are flying with, be it legacy systems, if you want a different connector than the MICRO AVIONICS connector, then ask them to fit it, and they will fit it for you as part of your build. So I had these first. When I unpacked my first helmet, I found these and I thought, they've left the foam in from the ear cups, and I was like, what are they there for? And I went and asked Eddie a while back, saying my headset's got a little bit more noisy, and he said, oh, the foam's just compressing down a little bit. Have you got any of the original foam? I said, original foam? He meant this. So this actually comes with a little sticker, which I'll show on the screen right now, and it actually says to fit this behind the ear cups to give the right pressure for your helmet. That's why I say it's this video is going to cover how to actually fit that foam. And in addition to that, a lot of people ask me, well, where can I get the instructions from? Well, every headset, it comes with one of these, and I'll show a picture on screen right now. It's a QR code that takes you to the MICRO AVIONICS website where all their instructions are held. So if you're not sure how to do something, go to the QR code, or go to the QR code which I'll show on the screen now, use that on your phone, and that will take you to where the instructions are, or alternatively I'll leave a link in the description. So let's look at fitting this, and the whole point of this is there's 4 slices of foam. You get 2 thin ones, you get 2 thicker ones, and that allows you to fit the helmet to your head. So I'm going to do that now, and hopefully I won't look too silly while we're doing this on camera. So I would say I've got quite a small head, so I'm going to use the thicker pads. But the beauty is, effectively, you've got 3 layering systems. You could use that on its own, the thin one, the slightly thicker one, or both together. So let's try it with a thicker one, which I believe I've got in my current headset at the moment. So all I'm doing is literally pulling the ear cup away, the edging foam out the way, part of the helmet build, and I'm just sliding this between the outer ear cup and where the inner ear shell is going to sit. I'm going to do that now, and for those that know about Blue Peter, here's one I made earlier. So now I've done that, the foam is behind the back of it, and that is pushing a little bit more pressure on there. I'm testing this because I don't know whether this is going to be the right amount of foam. It might be too much. I might have to put the thinner slivs in, but I will try with the thicker ones first off. So there we go, as if by magic, they're all in. So I'm going to try and fit it and see if that cuts some of the noise out. That does feel snug, but I'm just going to put all of the foam in just to see if that makes a difference. It might be too much and I might have to take it back out again, but we'll see what happens. So there we go. I have actually needed to fit all the bits of foam into that just to make it fit, because it will actually start to compress down over time. It depends on the frequency of how often you use your flying helmet. In the way that I fly, with lots of instructional flights, etc., that I will actually be using my helmet a lot, so that foam may last a little while and may need replacing in the future. But I say the foam I've used in my previous helmet, 4 years old, hundreds and hundreds of hours on that helmet, and I haven't needed to replace it at all. And I say it was just the fact that I hadn't known about the pack of information or the instructions leaflet that I'd missed that information until Eddie told me. I felt a little bit embarrassed, but ultimately, if I've made that mistake, I'm sure many others have as well, and I wanted to pass on that information. I will do a follow-up video on the 300, how it works, or how I found it in the time that I've been using it during my instructional flights. That's why I wanted to get this video out to start with, just so that you've got the information, so that when I actually come to use it, and I'll do a follow-up video of how I found the UL300 with the ANR built into an integrated helmet. As this is the first one that's come off the production line, I wanted to be able to give you that feedback later on. Right, so hopefully you've stayed to this far in the video, and just to give you my thoughts on what I think of my new 303, my integrated carbon 303 helmet. So they're just my thoughts, and I didn't want to do a video without having some extensive feedback. And some extensive use more than feedback. I didn't want to do a couple of hours and talk it through. The settings, again, as it says in the video, there's instructions on how to change the settings on the 303 helmet. The settings do make a significant difference to the environment you're in. And one of my students, Mark, he helped me test in flight which one worked best for the front seat. So the active noise cancelling actually benefits the student as well as you in how well that intercom works and the communication works in flight. But yes, as I said, I've got about 40 hours on this helmet now. The one mistake, or one of two mistakes that I made, I want to go through. So the first one was I fitted too much foam. The headset was actually pushing too hard on the side of my helmet, so I had to take one of the thinner pieces of foam out, and it fits much better now. But I know I've kept them, so when the foam does start to compress down, I can put it back in to create the seals, to improve the sealing of the ear cups. And the second one was I fitted one of the MICRO AVIONICS wind socks, or mic socks, to it. I thought it might just be quite nice to have a little bit of branding on there, but what it did do was it messed up the Vox, in that it was taking too much noise to activate the voice activation on the microphone and the intercom. So I removed that, and everything worked well. And I found that out when I went back to MICRO AVIONICS to have a quick look over it, to do some other videoing, which will be a later video, so hopefully that will come out in the near future. But in doing that, we worked out that the mic sock was not helping the circuitry. It doesn't need it in this. The actual integration of the helmet, the visor and the wind dam does create a nice sort of sealing effect, and you do notice it, or I noticed it as much when we're taxiing out, and just before about to line up, I lower the visor and everything goes nice and quiet, and so it doesn't need the mic sock at all in that sense. So don't fit the mic sock to the 303 unless you're using it in an external environment where the Vox will be struggling to work anyway. Do I like the helmet? Have I noticed any benefits over the standard fiberglass integrated helmet? Other than the fact it's lighter, and that was the only benefit of having the carbon helmet, sorry, the integrated helmet, was it was a little bit lighter. I don't have the grams to, but when you held them side by side, one was definitely lighter than the other one. And unless you're doing high G manoeuvres, there isn't really any need to have anything different than the standard fiberglass integrated helmet. Do I like the integrated helmets over separates? Yes, I do. And so for me, the 303 integrated helmet has been a definite boon to my instructional work, which means I can just throw the helmet on, lower the visor when required, and go and teach without any issues. Now I am using the Vox on this. It has sort of massively reduced the noise that I'm exposed to, and I don't get any sort of, especially when I was doing 5 or 6 hours tuition in a day, going home without any ringing ears in the other noisier environments. Especially when you're instructing, you're in the rear seat, much closer to the engine as well, so having the noise cancelling does make a significant difference. I do check with students where they can hear me clearly, and there has never been an instance that I'm aware of where the student hasn't heard what I'm saying, so that's a benefit. And I have always been able to hear what they're saying from the front seat, so that is one benefit of this helmet as well. So yeah, I've had about 40 hours on it. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the 303. I've still got my original UL100, and so that is in my other helmet, and that's my backup. But ultimately I am very impressed with the 303 integrated helmet. And would I have another one? Yes. Would I buy the carbon one again? No, just to save some money, but I'm impressed with the whole setup overall. So hopefully that has given you my feedback over the time I've had it. If you've got any questions, please drop them in the comments and I'll return you to the original video. So thanks for watching this far into the video. Hopefully that's been of use to you. As I say, it's going to be a very, very short product in video. There's not really a lot of detail I can give you other than the useful facts of where to get the information on instructions, the fact that the foam is actually got a little label that tells you using how to use it, the foam, which we've just done there. So we'll wrap this video up here. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments, and I will see you next time. So until next time, everybody, fly safe.